Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. Today I wanted to do a discussion video talking about a specific thing that I've been thinking about recently, especially this year, and that is readers' expectations on books. Sort of the expectations that we bring with the books that we pick up and that we read. So one of the things that I have been thinking about in particular is about expectations on genres. When you read, for example, a book of literary fiction, you often, or at least I do, expect a certain level of quality in the writing. But for example, when you read a mystery, you might be more the things that are important in a good mystery book or in any kind of genre book isn't necessarily the same things that are important in a good literary fiction. And I was wondering sort of how other people viewed sort of the expectations that they put on a book and whether those expectations of quality and of content and form is the same for any kind of book, or if they adapt it to different genres, different age groups, etc. So one of the things that I've been thinking about and one of the things I'm trying to adapt is to bring new specific expectations depending on what I'm reading. Let's say you're reading a mystery, and the things about a good mystery, to me at least, the main thing is to be entertained, to feel a thrill, or with cozy mysteries to be enjoying the puzzle, sort of trying to figure out what really happened, who was responsible for it, the motive. It's the puzzle making and the puzzle solving that is so much fun, I think, in specifically cozy mysteries, and with a lot of thrillers and things like that. The main point of them is often to be excited, to be swept away with a fantasy. It might be to explore the boundaries of the physical world and to imagine what could have been. Same with sci-fi, and sort of push the physical limits of the world as it is, and see what happens when you change the natural forces and laws. So I think one of the things that I've been trying to do for a few months now is to bring a new set of expectations with every specific type of book I read. So this year, for example, I've read Agatha Christie, which I always really enjoy, but I don't really think of them as quality in the form of in terms of the writing. I don't think that the writing is anything spectacular. It is her success in storytelling that is so much fun to follow. And for example, I read The End of Mr. Y early in the year, which was a literary mystery and had sci-fi elements. It had a blend of various different things. It also had romance in it, and I didn't really like the romance storyline. I thought it was pretty lazily handled. I didn't love everything about that book. I didn't think that the characterization was particularly good, not up to the level that I would expect from, say, literary fiction, but as a sort of a general fiction with sci-fi elements and a mystery combined, it was really fun. And it sort of dealt with a lot of themes that I really enjoyed. So if I had expected it to be, for example, literary fiction, I would have preferred the writing to be more elegant, to put it simply. But since I didn't have the expectations of a literary fiction on it, I felt like I was able to enjoy the things that it was successful in, even though I didn't think that the quality of the writing was necessarily up to a literary fiction standard. So that is one of the things that I've been thinking about, especially when people talk about how this thriller was fun, but it wasn't anything spectacular, and they compare a thriller with literary fiction or with a serious work of history or something like that. I feel like it's pretty hard to compare two books that are in completely different genres with completely different aims to each other, because they set out to do something different. So the judgment of whether they are successful or not should have been dependent on what they are trying to do, and compare them to people who try to do the same thing, rather than compare two completely different things. And I think that is the same with not just with genre in terms of like fantasy, literary fiction, etc., but also with the age range that it's focused on. I really enjoy reading children's fiction, but I don't necessarily think that the quality of the writing is anything groundbreaking. They usually are pretty straightforward in the narrative form and things like that. Which doesn't necessarily make them the most unique in terms of literature on the grander scale, but they can still be really fun books and really entertaining, and do things well within their own goal, within the sort of the boundaries of fiction directed towards a younger audience, introducing new readers to the joy of literature, and pushing boundaries of imagination and inspiring imagination with younger readers, and also to challenge possibly some of the stereotypes that come up in a young person's life around them in everyday situations. The genre of the book, the age range that it's targeted towards the audience, are things I think that I want to take into consideration when I judge a book, and if it is successful in what it sets out to do. And I think that is one of the reasons also that I've been doing more research in the books that I pick up before I pick them up, to know what to expect, so that I judge the book based on what it actually is, rather than what I thought it would be. I feel like I get more out of the book if I know what I'm getting, and I'm judging the book based on that. I've enjoyed basically everything I've read this year. Not the same amount, obviously. I definitely have my favorites, but I've basically enjoyed all of my reading time this year. And I think the key to that has been the fact that I've changed the way I think about books prior to picking them up and while I've been reading them. So I assess them differently and adjust to how I look at them for what they're trying to do, and changing my perspective rather than expecting the book to change for me. So I'm not sure if any of this made any sense, but I would really love to hear your thoughts about this. If you have sort of the same expectations for books regardless of genre or age range or anything like that, or if you feel like it's if there's a difference between genre fiction and literary fiction, non-fiction, etc. I would really love to hear your thoughts about expectations going into books and how you judge them, how you review them, both in regard to each other and as individual books. I hope any of this made any sense. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would really love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I hope you're having a really good day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.